All right, welcome back to the deep dive. You know how we do it here. We take your requests and dive deep, right? Well, today is all about startups, specifically how to grow your career in one, which I know is something you're really interested in right now. So we're diving into, let me see, 5 tips for managing career growth in a startup. It's kind of perfect because those traditional career tips, they don't always cut it in the fast-paced startup world.
Yeah, totally. It's a different ballgame, and that's what makes this duck dive so interesting. You're not just aiming for that next rung on the ladder. It's more like navigating a jungle gym.
Mhm.
You got to be ready to climb in any direction.
Huh, I like that.
Yeah.
So first tip, take initiative. And this is more than just, getting your work done on time.
Yeah, way more. It's about seeing where you can add value, even if it's not in your job description. Like the article mentioned the software developer who saw a way to improve the customer onboarding process. He didn't wait for someone to tell him to do it. He just built a prototype in his free time. Yeah, pitched it to the team, and guess what? It became a core feature of the product. And he ended up leading the team that developed it.
See, that's what I'm talking about. That kind of initiative, that's gold. And you know what else is important in a startup? Being able to adapt, right?
Absolutely. Tip number 2, be adaptable. Because in a startup, things change so quickly. One day you're focused on marketing, the next you might be helping with product development. You have to be ready to pivot.
You really do. It's like instead of just going with the flow, you're learning to surf,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
You've got to ride those waves of change.
Exactly. And see those changes as opportunities. Like there was a story in the article about a marketer who suddenly had to lead a product launch because the original lead had to step away unexpectedly.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. But instead of freaking out, she dove in, learned everything she could about product development, and totally crushed it. Ended up adding a whole new skill set to her resume.
That's incredible. Talk about a crash course, right?
Yeah.
Which kind of brings us to our next point, focus on learning. Startups are like, well, they're like the ultimate learning environment.
They really are. It's like a master class every single day. You're surrounded by brilliant people working on cutting edge stuff. Soak it all in. Ask questions, even if you think they're dumb, because chances are someone else is wondering the same thing.
So true. And those people you're surrounded by, those become your network, which is so important. But networking startup style, that's different than like those awkward networking events, right?
Oh, yeah, completely different. It's not about collecting business cards. It's about building real relationships.
Hmm.
Because in a startup, everyone is in it together. From the intern to the CEO, you never know who you'll end up working with down the line.
So true. Okay, last tip, and this one could be a little scary, embracing calculated risks. It's easy to get stuck in that fear of failure, isn't it?
It is. But in a startup, calculated risks are where the magic happens. The key is, like you said, calculated. Don't just jump into anything blindly. Do your research, weigh the pros and cons, and be prepared to pivot if things don't go as planned. Because even so-called failures can be valuable learning experiences.
Totally. Well, there you have it. 5 tips to help you not just survive, but thrive in the exciting world of startups.
And as you're navigating your own career path, remember, it's not always about following a straight line. Be open to new opportunities, embrace the challenges, and never stop learning.
Love it.
Because in a startup, the possibilities are endless.
That's a great note to end on. So for everyone listening, think about your own career goals and how you can apply these tips to your own journey. Thanks for joining us for another deep dive.